now that you back. We talking every day now that you back. So what does that mean, bro? What does I'm back mean? Because that's like, yo, you manifesting the fuck out that this year.
Yeah.
What is it? What's today's date?
I, I
February.
guess I guess
February 4th, bro.
we
We
back in
back.
it. We back in
A
it.
month is done, and this "I'm back" phrase is like coming in every which way.
Right, right, right. I guess we for me that reference is um I guess we kind of lose ourselves in,
Hmm.
in one way or another, or we're trying to find ourselves.
Right, right.
And in a way, our emotions just kind of take us through like this roller coaster of events
Hmm.
on a on a on a on a daily basis. And sometimes I feel like, I lose myself.
Hmm.
I lose myself, and I'm just like, you know, um, I'll I'll go on this journey of wherever it takes me, and then whenever I recoup and get myself back to a place where I feel back in my own skin, then that's when I kind of say, oh, I'm back.
Okay.
you know?
I guess that what you're saying happens to almost everybody. When you lose yourself, and it could be very subtle. It could be big. It could be small. I think losing yourself in your sense is like, because you work with so many different people and clientele that you get lost in their emotions and in their world, because you're so giving, you care about others, that you'll enter somebody's space and kind of forget who you are helping somebody, right? And I think sometimes when you do that, you hurt yourself too, because I've seen a pattern of you with your I'm backness. You know what I mean? This I'm back where you lose yourself and then you find yourself, you lose yourself and then you find yourself. But honestly, I think that happens with everybody, throughout the day. Um, and it takes practice to kind of be aware of who you are and how you're contributing to the community, you know. And I guess in your sense, staying true to yourself, being aware of your goals and stuff, right? Versus getting overshadowed by somebody else in that sense, right? I think it's a normal thing that we all kind of go through. And I feel like when you snap out of it, like I'm back, um, it's sometimes I don't think it's always like coming back to a great state. I think it's like returning to like, why did I do that? You know, or you feel less than, because you're like, that's not me, or like I did so much and I overgave myself, to whatever it was, and then you kind of start to build some type of resentment, you know, towards whatever happened, and it's just like you'll get a lesson from it, like I'm not gonna do that again, right, or something like that.
Yeah, of course. Definitely. I think touching on awareness, right? Like when we get back to a state of awareness, we start to kind of understand things because we kind of traveled outside of that perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and we're able to look at ourselves from the outside.
Right, right, yeah, yeah,
And then when we come back into that state, it's just like, oh shit, I was actually acting like that,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and you go through all of those emotions of guilt, of
Mm-hmm.
um, why did I do that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you feel you feel you feel like kind of a little shameful because like that's not who you want to be,
Right, right.
and then uh, you snap back into who you really want to be, and then you go back through these loops again,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and it just kind of feels like sometimes a never-ending pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think it's so important to have the right people around you. And I'm grateful to have like a tribe
Mm-hmm.
who can kind of keep me um, in balance
Mhm.
of who I really want to be.
Yeah.
And I think these little reminders that I have from you guys, it helps me get in tune of and be aligned with who I really want to be.
Right. Right.
You
For
know,
sure.
so yeah, man, it's a constant practice every day
Mhm.
that I'm going through. Um, being a dad, trying to be that
A dad, a husband.
yeah, just trying to be who I envision for my kids,
Mhm.
so that when they see me, see who I am on a daily basis. Because I one thing I notice is that every time I try to tell my kids to do something,
Right.
right, doesn't matter what it is, there's always resistance. There's always like, no, I'm gonna do it myself,
Mhm.
you know. And I realized that, one of the things I remember, I was scrolling somewhere, I was reading something somewhere. It was just like the one way, the one way that you will be able to teach your kids, it's not by telling them, it's not by directing them, it's actually by showing
Showing
them.
them. Yeah.
It's actually through action.
Being an example.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So one of the things that really that I wanted to test this theory out was I was, me and my wife were trying to teach our kids how to brush their teeth,
Mhm.
right? And my wife was, she was kind of struggling one night, and she was just like, hey, my youngest son, is his name's Zach, and he wouldn't he wouldn't do it.
Mhm.
We tried to get him to do it, and he was just like, no. We told him like, hey, come on, brush your teeth and all this type of stuff. We got his toothbrush, and we tried to help him, and he just resisted the whole time. And this was like a little bit after I read that
Mhm.
story, and I was just like, all right, let me try something. So I got my toothbrush, right, and then
Mhm.
I went and got my toothbrush, and I ended up, you know, taking both my boys in front of the mirror,
Right.
and I told them, I was just like, hey, watch Daddy.
How do you do it?
How,
How do you brush your teeth?
how do I brush my teeth? I just I just put the toothpaste on the
You know the
toothbrush,
whole
and I
joke. No,
started.
you don't go circles, bro.
I started.
You ain't going in circles.
No,
Show us how you brush your teeth.
well, I actually have an electronic toothbrush,
Ooh.
right?
Okay.
So normally when I brush my
Oh,
teeth,
so you ain't
I
even
just
going like that. You're just.
nah, I didn't even do that. I didn't even turn it on because
Okay.
they don't
Oh,
have
right,
one.
right.
They don't have
So
one.
what's the motion like?
So I usually go in a circular
You
motion,
go
and I go left and right. The
You go-
standard
Are
left,
you
right, up
doing
and down.
this?
Up, down, left, right. Like Contra and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my
just
god! You
just
know,
do
back in the day, like, how do you brush your teeth? Oh, you know what I mean? I'm like, stop it, bro.
Yep. And so I brought them in front of the mirror, and then
Right.
they got their toothbrush, and then they seen me do it, and then right after he seen me doing it, he was just like, he started doing it too.
Mhm.
I was just like, wow, that right there was a very profound moment for me,
Right.
because that's when I knew that everything that I everything that we do in front of our kids, it's such a we're such mirrors to them.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, we're such big influence on them,
Right.
on how we speak, how we walk, how we talk.
Mhm,
All of
that's
these
true.
things. And that's when I realized, like, hey, you have to be very, very mindful and careful of the things you do in front of them,
Mhm.
um, because they're
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 always
they're
watching.
always watching.
Mhm.
Whether you realize it or not.
Yeah.
So when I'm around them, uh, of course I'm still human.
Oh, right,
I
right, right,
do.
right.
I I go through my emotions, and I may say things that I may not mean, but at the end of the day, it's not what we do, right? It's how
How we do
we
it.
do it afterwards.
Right.
So when we make a mistake in front of our kids, how do we react
How do we show it?
afterwards? How do we show that we're remorseful,
Mhm.
we're sincere? How do we get ourselves out of those situations, right? And I think that's one of the things that I never was able to see from my parents growing up.
Mhm.
Like, my parents would They would get into arguments, and that was that,
Right, right, right.
right? They would get into whatever thing that they would get into, and they would separate, and then everything would look normal after that. I never seen, reconciliation. I never seen,
But they did reconcile, just not in front of you.
not in front of us.
Got it. Right. So you
So
wouldn't know.
so I wouldn't even
No,
know
if
how
they
to
made up.
address it.
Right.
These are things that we
And
have
then they
to.
don't talk about it either.
Oh no,
You know.
I mean, growing up in a, um, I wouldn't even consider it an Asian household. I
Mhm.
would just say it was just, um, our culture,
Right, right, right,
right?
right.
It
Yeah.
was more so,
Quiet culture.
yeah, it was more so like, you suppressed
You ever ask like why?
suppress your
Are they born
feelings.
here?
Who?
Your parents?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
They,
You ever ask like why our parents are like that? I asked why, but then I changed the why to like what made them like that. And you mind if I share my
yeah,
thoughts? Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's because they had so much going on that they were trying to figure out that they didn't even think about kids being a thing, And I can attest to like being an adult, a young parent too, that there's times when I'm not thinking about my kids. I'm thinking more about me and what I got to do, right? And I think our parents had trauma trying to get here to America. That when they got here, they had to figure out a lot too. That we weren't kind of like a a priority. Their priority was like working, getting a job,
Survival,
survival mode.
finances.
And then with all of that, they're probably trying to figure it out amongst themselves too, with the arguments and not understanding. Like how many
Because who
times do
taught them,
yeah,
right?
right,
Who
right.
taught them,
And then they taught them in a different environment. It's like
right?
they're learning, they're taking what they were taught and applying it in a whole nother environment where it brought in a whole another set of challenges, I'm sure, for them. I mean, like for me, I hear the parent stories a lot. I have them too, and I guess one day I kind of just let it go. I was like, I don't even care for whatever happened with me and my parents. I know that there's lack of, but it's just like, you know what? I'm not focused on that no more. I'm focused on what I'm going to do with my kids and how I want it to be. And really,
Exactly.
when I say how I want it to be, I'm giving them essentially what I wanted as a kid. Love, attention, trips, playground moments and stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't kind of sit there and think about what I didn't get at this point in life. It's just like, you know what? I forgive my parents. They're not even together. They're
100%.
divorced. And I'm at a place where like, yo, I hope my mom's good, living her life. My dad, he's getting taken care of by my little sister right now. So, you know, that's their journey in life at the moment. And I kind of just forgave them and just want to see them in peace. And for me, I'm just thinking of all the glory that I'm going to be living with my kids at this point. And I don't have those stories where it's just like my parents didn't or you know what I mean? I kind of just forgive and let it go. And then now it gives me a chance to walk into the future bagless. I mean, I don't have all these past stories and traumas anymore. And I guess that's why I'm able to walk forward in life so radiantly and happy all the damn time. It's like for me now, I get to go in other people's settings and like you said, see what's going on. But when I exit out, I exit and leave it there, because I can't take it home with me. It's unfair to my family. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Because you're the example.
yeah, yeah, I
Touching
am.
back on it,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you 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 learn how to let go, and I think that's a very, important, um,
Skill,
skill to, to,
honestly.
to practice, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're going through these traumas growing up, um, it's easy to hold on to these things,
Hmm.
right? And play the victim and blame the other person, right?
Well, the reason, I mean, the secret to my letting go is that you don't let go until you find something more exciting. Just like a job, you don't quit your job till you find a better job, right? For me, I can let go of anything because I know that the future holds way more excitement and abundance for me, and I spend time thinking about that shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm in a state now, I don't even think about sadness. Like the airplane that's happening, Cotman, New York. I don't look up no like ice rate. I don't look up no negative
Negativity,
news. Like I don't
right?
give a shit. My wife is big on reading the news and when she tells me, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't just shut it off, but I don't partake in it either. You know? I just don't care for it. Reason why is because just as much as there's negative news, there's also positive news, you know? So why can't I just focus on that? I was like, there's so many people that focus on negative news. I don't need to be one of those. I'd rather be
Right.
just more positive driven and think about all the good stuff, that's going on in the world. I'd rather fuel myself with that because regardless of all the bad that's going on, I'm not saying it ain't any. But at the same
It's
time,
happening.
am I
Right.
am I does it make me a bad person that I'm
Right.
not thinking about them?
No.
No, it does. I don't think it do. For me, I just choose to think about all the positive things. Like, what about the people that just got married today? What about all the births that happened today? I'm sure somebody did a donation to some type of charity that we can highlight. I'm sure somebody's buying their first home that we could celebrate. And I always sporadically share it on my story, just like, yo, with so much negative news going on, why don't you make a choice and create positive news for you and your family instead? You know?
Mhm.
So that's what I focus on all the time. And I just have no time for it because I know that it's happening, but it doesn't mean I have to focus on it. And then just because I'm not taking a moment to recognize it, does it make me feel bad? Fuck no. It's just I'm choosing not to let that in. That's all. You know, Mass shootings happen all the time. Deaths happen every day. And it's just like, yo, it will kill you to soak in all that negativity, you know? For me, I do real estate a lot. So I look forward to helping sellers sell their distressed properties. I look forward to connecting buyers to the distressed properties and assisting. It's so much positivity and good things that you can focus on and let go of that negative news, negativity in general. That's why
Right.
I let go so easily because there's so much good things to look forward to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my secret sauce to letting go. And if people can really resonate that, like you don't let go until you find something new. So keep looking.
I I guess I could touch on that too because for the longest time I used to I used to live that. I used to want to find something better.
Hmm.
Um, and then be able to let go of something else,
Hmm.
you know? And that's more so of security,
Right,
right?
right, right.
Like, all right, like let's say for example, you're working on a job and you're just like, all right, I'm pretty secure at this job. I'm making money. Let me go put myself into another position and see if I could find something else so that once get this position, then I can leave this job,
Hmm.
right? And then
Essentially, that's how you would want to do it, right?
that's how most people do it,
Hmm.
because who wants to be sitting at home and then go and look for a job and
Right,
then, well, let's say you don't find something for 6 months, what are you going to tell your family,
right,
you
right.
know? And so I guess for me, um, there's more variables that play into that when I look into when I'm going through that experience now is that um, what if you're in a situation where you know that career path you chose is more detrimental staying there
Right.
for you,
Hmm.
like let's say health wise,
Hmm.
right? um, let's say you're working at a job and it's causing you stress every day,
Right, for sure.
right?
I think
And
that happens every day to a lot of people,
right,
honestly.
I
That's like
mean,
a epidemic in itself.
right,
Did I use the word right?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like a thing going on. That's why I always say emotions is not talked about enough. Feelings is not recognized enough because I think that's an epidemic in itself with humans that we're very emotional creatures and nobody really recognizes emotions and feelings being a thing of treatment that we need. You know what I mean? Feel me?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
And honestly, like you said, like if you're stuck at a job and it's causing you stress and stuff, it gotta be a point where you say, hey, let me search for something better. Until they kind of like get in that state to see what are the options for, they're gonna suck it up and continue to do it because of what life is needed. A job, they have a family, probably kids that they gotta support, bills and stuff. I get it. But
mhm,
still, I feel like if you are in that place, you just got to make a decision. Ask yourself the right question. You know, I always say the answers is in the question. If you don't ask yourself the right question, you won't find the right answer.
mhm,
So asking yourself the wrong question could lead you down, set you back a good amount of time. You know, so it's just like, hey, if this job is causing me stress, what what do I need to do to eliminate that stress? You know, find a
yeah,
better company, you know,
Right.
um, maybe switch careers. You know, it's just, to me, it's just action taking, you
Right.
know?
But like you said, it's never like a straight shot, right?
No.
It's not that simple. It's not as simple where you can just make a decision and just shift your life like
You know
that
what's
because
crazy? It can be that simple, though, if you have communication, because it's just like communicating to your family, your well being, and then they necessarily won't have the answers, you know, other than maybe go see a therapist, a doctor. But it's like you got to present the solutions. You know, like, hey guys, I'm not feeling good because of X, Y, and Z. This is my plan. I'm going to spend the next 6 months or so to find something better. Boom. I know. It can be that.
it sounds that simple, but
To me, it can be that simple.
in reality for some people, like, you know, if you're in a difficult relationship, let's say for example, right?
Right.
Your partner isn't as understanding to things, like all they're focused on is like, all right, you want to spend the next 6 months shifting careers.
Right.
Where's the money coming in from? And then you got to have these tough talks,
Of course.
right? Of course, you got to have these tough talks with them and let them know, like, okay, this is my plan. And then if the plan doesn't plan out,
I'm
then
still
what
here.
happened? Right.
Right. Yeah.
But you know, like I said, some people aren't as understanding about that.
I agree.
They look at the results.
I agree, but is the communication to have them understand, or the communication to have you change your your way of life? You know what I mean? It's two different conversations
It is.
that you can have. Should you have them both at the same time? You can. You know what I mean? What I know, you know what I mean? Because I learned communication is you actually just got to do one thing at a time, one question at a time. And one question could leave a whole hour in a conversation just off of one question. You know what I mean? So, like, if I were in that situation and I was talking to my significant other, I would start by warming her up in a pattern of I'm miserable, you know, because it's like, it doesn't, like you said, if it comes overnight, it's like, what the fuck? Well, I thought you were good there. You weren't making good money, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But, you know, it's like, if I know I'm not happy, I'm gonna start
Planting those
projecting it.
seeds.
I'm gonna start projecting like, hey, babe, I'm not really happy today.
Right.
I'm not happy when I go to work, you know. I'm not happy waking up going to a place I hate, you know. And it gets to the point where it's like, hey, like she may ask you like, babe, if you're not happy there, leave. You see what I'm saying? It's just it's just the way you're coming across is like you just already have blockages based off of your belief of the significant other, you know, versus letting go of whatever you think it may be and taking it one step at a time, you know, but having clear communication, you know. For me, when I say communication, I'm thinking clear communication that I can communicate for you to understand. Um, am I feeling what I'm saying? Am I saying it with love to connect with you, right? To make sure you understand. Because saying it one thing is different, but when you say it where I really want you to get what I'm saying is another. You know what I mean? And then truthful communication. What you're saying is very truthful. Because when you very truly believe what you're saying, um, it'll come across, you know, with the feelings and everything. Now, how you communicate that is definitely a skill and an art form to it. Because you could be a dickhead and communicate. I'm tired of my fucking job. Why you keep asking me how I'm feeling? You see what I'm saying? Like, how many times do you hear that in the story with husbands rationally lashing out? And then how's the wife supposed to sound? Fuck you want me to do? You know, fuck, I'm gonna go get a job. You know what I mean? It just creates other shit, you know? But I feel like if you can.
Unnecessary tension.
Exactly. And it's just like, if it's tough conversations, don't throw up over somebody.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you feel like it's tough,
Just speak how you really feel.
just speak how you really feel at the right time. You can't do it like first thing in the morning when everybody's waking up, knowing you gotta fucking go to school, get the kids to school,
ready.
and then you're like, I hate my job. You're like, the fuck? Like, we still gotta like get your ass to work, goddamn it. You know what I mean? Here's your lunch. You know, it's just not the right timing to have that convo. But it's like every day you come home from work, you're like, babe, I really hate my job. I'm so happy to be home right now.
Right.
Like I love coming home because I hate being. You can try to say like you can build up to it. you know. But it's like the lack of truthfulness, the lack of love, you know, selfishness communicated throughout the way. It it blocks all of that, you know. So that's why people don't normally kind of have good communication skills, I feel like. And I used to be one of them, bro. I used to lie a lot. Shit, I used to be like, "Yo, can you tell my wife this?" You know, what I mean? Like try to have everybody lie in on the lie. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
nah. You know, I had somebody, my coach, say, "Nah, it's not good," and they're like, "I'm not even going to partake in that shit." They're like, "I don't lie to my wife, so I don't think you need to either." You know, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, and I just started kind of like learning how to communicate truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I don't win all the time because sometimes it's like based off of what I want. When I start to communicate, we'll compensate. We'll kind of come to like some type of mutual agreement. You know, a win-win. You know, so I mean, does that example kind of like block out your limited belief of, well, some people, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, um, like I said, like we all go through these moments where we're trying to, I guess, figure things out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and with our significant other is just sometimes I guess I myself would kind of sugarcoat things
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't hurt their feelings.
For
You
sure.
know, like
For sure.
we we try to I guess
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Does she sugarcoat things?
oh, absolutely not.
Exactly.
No, no.
So I used to do the exact same thing,
Yeah.
sugarcoat my communication,
Mhm.
but she wouldn't.
Mhm.
And then now, bro, now I don't sugarcoat nothing. I
Mhm.
truthfully say, yo, you're annoying me. How
Yeah.
am I annoying you? This and that. I'm like, you're just annoying me right now.
Right.
You know, the way you're communicating with me, the way you're acting, your mood, you're just annoying me. And then I tell her the truth. I was like, you tell me all the time when I'm annoying, right? Why is it wrong for me to say the same to you?
Mhm.
And you're really fucking annoying me right now. You know? And I was like, matter of fact, you're annoying me so much, I'm gonna get away from you. You know? Same thing you do to me. And
Mhm.
I was like, ain't and when I started to accept the truth in the communication, I was like, man, it's it's actually fair. You know what I mean? And then she'll ask, like, what am I doing to annoy you? I don't even do anything, blah, blah. I'm like, well, if you want to know, you know what I mean? Because think about it. How many times my wife will tell me I'm annoying and she'll tell me, I'm like, I didn't even ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just like, I'm just giving them a taste of truthful communication without the love. You know what I mean? And I don't, and it's nothing wrong with that either. You know, I've come to learn that you're with somebody almost every fucking day. You know, out of 30 days, you know, they have their moments. We have our moments. You know, let's just say they have their menstrual cycle. That's like 7 days. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. My
You're
wife,
right.
my wife says I have my menstrual days, so let's just say I got a week. You know what I mean? Fuck
Mhm.
it. You know, so that's 2 weeks out of 30 days already that we're imbalanced, right? So then I was like, you know what? There's 2 other weeks then. Um, let's just say 1 week, one of those weeks, we're neutral. And then the other week, we're in love. And I was like, that's fair. You know, when I started to see it that way, I was like, you know what? You have your 7 days. There's moments where I have 7 days where I just don't even want to fucking deal with shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so focused, hyper focused on something. Like, babe, just stop. You know what I mean? And she'll say, like, what are you on your period? You know what I mean? And then when she says it so much that I start to look at other guys. And I was like, is that a thing for us? And it's true, bro. We have moments where we're just moody.
Mhm.
Maybe it's because we're close to paying the bills. We have to do something beginning, end the month. I don't know. You know what I mean? But we as men get into our little moods too, mood swings and shit. You know what I mean? So I was like, that if it's just a
What you talking
week,
about, bro? We perfect, bro. We don't go through these
nah, I
things,
ain't
man.
perfect, bro.
What
Watch
you
your wife
talking?
watch it, like, you perfect,
We
motherfucker. Oh,
perfect,
you
bro.
perfect?
I don't know what you talking
So I'm
about, bro.
imperfect now. But yeah, I was like, you
Nah.
know what? What if it's just a week where we get that love to express to one another because everything kind of aligns. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? That seems very logical. actually, you know, because it's like after her week, I'm annoyed with her now. I need my time. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't?
Exactly, bro.
Who
Who
doesn't?
doesn't?
Right?
Who
Who
doesn't?
doesn't?
And you're with that person every day. So it's just like I learned to accept that we both need space and that sometimes we're not going to be acting as husband and wife. We might just act as friends. Sometimes we might act as strangers, come and go, not even say much to each
Right.
other because we're in our own world. You know what I mean? My wife is an entrepreneur too. She has her own business, so I know she has a lot going on in her head, you know?
Right.
And that she doesn't have the capacity to intake my business. My business is real estate, so it's a lot to kind of understand. And I don't even put it on her to want to listen to my stuff, you know? I sit there and listen to her stuff all day though. She needs that, you know? But for my stuff, I have my tribe for that. She won't even understand unless she wants to. And I know that she doesn't want to understand because she doesn't care to. She don't ask me or nothing how my business is. And I'm fine with that because it would take so much to have her understand anyway. And she would want to give me that space too. I know she
Yeah.
doesn't, so I don't take it personal that you never asked me, you never helped me. Nah, it is what it is. I accept the truth, you know what I mean? And I don't throw it in her face either. In the past I have, but today it's just like, yeah,
Practice.
practice. You know what I mean? Like I let go. To me, I just don't want that energy either. Like the jealous energy, selfish energy. I just ask myself, it's like, you know what? If she's not the one to do it, who can help me with this?
You go to college for that?
Nah, I turned it down. They did offer me like 10
How much?
million,
How much is it?
15 million or something like that.
Wait a minute. It's $10 million.
Turned it down.
You saying $10 million though?
5 million or something. Yeah, I had to go from like this decade to that decade. Like fuck we talking
what,
about?
what are you talking about?
Turn it down to do this. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
That's gonna be a good clip, bro. But yeah, bro. I know that you know enough of that. I know you turned it down, really turned it down because you know bro. You're returning on the show. Last time you were here with you know Skywide Tim,
Hmm.
and you're not. He's not here. So what happened? Where's Timbo Slice at, man? My man Timbo.
Tim's he's doing his thing.
Hmm.
Tim's I have nothing bad to say about Tim. Tim's a great guy. He's focused on his business, his company, growing his business, and you know we s- we still collab on projects together.
Hmm.
Um, but in terms of like working together as like a you know
Like building
as a
a real business
building a
together.
business together, um, that's not what we started from the beginning. It
Hmm.
wasn't never like that. He brought me in as a temp to kind of teach me like like this is what I do. This is my company. This is what I'm looking for.
Hmm.
And I just kind of went through like a trial period to kind of you know s- explore and you know I guess try out
Hmm.
what he had going on. And um, I was able to learn. I was able to learn a lot from Tim. And I realized that we just have two different visions on how we want to run things. And it's that's kind of how business works sometimes. You go out there and you kind of see how other people do their thing. And you try your best to see if things align. And if it
Hmm.
doesn't, then
Yeah.
you just kind of wish the other person the best. And
Right.
you
It was an
you
experience.
see what fits.
Hmm.
I think that's what life's about. You go out there and explore, and you see what fits with you.
Right.
And we're always constantly changing, right? Like for me, I always um when I was young, like Tim, right? Tim's like 10 years younger than me or whatever. When I was younger, like in my 20s, the drive that I had, like wanting, more for myself. Not saying that I don't want more for myself. It's just the intensity of how I would work and how I used to work out in the gym, you know.
Hmm.
The intensity is just like go, 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 go.
Right.
You know, like high testosterone. Like you're always like trying to stuff things down. You know, like
Hmm.
and that energy, it's it's. I understand it.
Hmm.
You know, but I'm at a place right now in my life where I need peace. You know, I need balance.
Hmm.
You know, it's not always just um,
Go mode.
it's not always just go. You know, it's not always just work. You know, I'm focused on my family. I'm focused on, you know, being happy. You know,
Hmm.
spending time with the people that bring me peace.
Yeah.
You know,
You
and
know, I had a friend on here last week, Malik, and you know, I was telling him that I met with somebody, and they wanted me to aspire for more. You know, like yachts and millions and all that stuff, right? And I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But I bought my house. I was in a good place, and I was like, I'm happy. I was like, got out the hood, had fun with toys and stuff. And like, yeah, but more and more, just pushing me for more, you know? And it's just like, I could do that, you know what I mean? Like, he was frustrated with me because I kind of didn't, I was like, why me? You know what I mean? You know? But then it's like, when I look at him, divorced, he does have kids that are older, you know? But then it's just like, yo, you're winning at business, but you failed at love. You gave up, you know? And then it's just like, when I think of trying to make these millions and get more, what am I sacrificing to do that? Because, like, if I'm
exactly,
trying to go make millions, I'm not going to be at home. I'm
exactly,
not going to be there as often as I am today. I'm not going to be present at parties the way I am today. Because if you're in that caliber of making that, right, you're going to be away to do most of that or be in a mindset to keep it pushing forward, you know? And it's like for me when I hear like millionaires that made and stuff, it was something that they could do differently. They say spend time with their family, you know, not
exactly.
worry so much at acquiring all these stuff, but been there for the birthday parties and all that stuff, you know. And it's just like, yo, across the board, a lot of them feel that way and say it. And he even said it, you know. And he was reading a book, I think, The Power of Now or something, and it just made me think like I'm in what they say they wish they did, like I'm living it now, you know what I mean. And I was like, I'm very happy and content with where I'm at in life, you know. And I say to like Dave, my coach, my tribe, and I always say, you know, what if I'm not the one to make it? What if my kids are? They're like first generation here. I don't know, but I know that I don't want to spend all of my days thinking about money and then miss out on what's most important. Also, you know, and I
I'll be
feel.
I'll be honest with you, bro. To me, what you just said to me, you already made it.
Hmm.
What is making it?
Exactly.
You already made it.
You know,
From
people.
what you're explaining to me right now, how you're explaining your story about, you know, you got your house, you got your family, your house is full of love.
Yeah,
Is that not making it?
that's what I say, you know. And then
Like
just like people always look at
you're
me,
not a millionaire, but
right,
and what?
right.
Is that gonna make you
And people
happy?
would look at me and be like, you know, when I talk about my house and stuff, it's like, nah, don't even do no renovation. Just buy a new house. You know, and it's just like, well, you know, my wife put the house together with our contractor, and she really loves it. You know, and I started to I want to upgrade at some point. Yeah, why not? But then it's like, can I retire here? Yeah, I could. It's an amazing neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
compared to where I came from. Single family. I got a lot of green grass, trees, and shit. You know, and it's just like, why go bigger when my kids, when they leave, don't people go back to being, you know what I mean? And I was like, I love my environment so much. Like, I have amazing neighbors and stuff. I'm 2 blocks away from the water. I could walk to the water and just see what's going on. And it's just like I I I love my life. You know what I mean? And it's like even my coach, you know what I mean? Dave, when I'm like, oh, more and more. I'm like, well, I really enjoy my life right now. And it's just like for me, I'm 39. I plan on retiring at 55. So 15 years, you know, and then I just want to give it all to my kids and just enjoy life, you know. At 50, like even the way I'm in now, I just love being present. I don't even make no plans with the family because they do so much. Just being present is enough,
Right.
you know? And I do feel like I made it, you know? I, and it's just like me and my family are so like in our own world that I'm beyond past like trying to prove a point to anybody anymore. You know what I mean? Like now
Totally get it.
I'm so disconnected
Totally get it,
from
man.
everyone, anything. We don't get no invites to no parties and nothing, and you know, it's just I'm fucking happy, you know? Like the bickering that me and my wife do, I tell her all the time, I'm so thankful for it. I'm so happy you bitching about this little shit, you know, because it was worse. You know what I mean? So I'm appreciative of all the little things today, you know, and
Right.
I realize it's not a big problem. And I was like, man, it feels good to not have big problems around all little minor emotional shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing about like wanting more, right? Like what we were just talking about, like touching on that is that everybody has their own idea of like what they want,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is more to them. And from coming from your friend, like having a yacht, having these big dreams, that's his dream,
Yeah,
and for him to achieve that, um, that's him saying I made it.
right.
But for you,
Like for me, I do
that's
want those things, but I don't I don't want it if I'm sacrificing my family.
right.
You know what I mean? I don't want it if I
There's a
couldn't
cost.
bring my wife with me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it's like you made it in business, but you failed at love because you're fucking alone now.
Right.
It is what it is. I don't care how much money you make, you know? It is what it is. Like you're living alone in that yacht.
That's the balance,
You know what I mean?
right?
It is the balance.
That's the balance we fail to realize when we're chasing these things because we're so focused. Like, I see it all the time. You know, people who make a ton of money, they're so focused on making money. They don't focus on anything else.
Yeah.
They don't focus on love. They don't focus on relationships. They don't focus on health.
Mm-hmm.
They end up making they they attracted all that. They manifested it. They became rich,
Yeah.
but yet they're not healthy. They didn't take care of themselves. They never kept themselves in balance of sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they were probably sleeping 3 4 hours a night.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
focused on their business,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, they didn't eat right, right? They didn't spend time with their family or their kids, and then when they got to the point where they were able to achieve that, they lost everything else.
Right.
And I think that's the one thing that I was able to kind of see, and we all have a choice to choose if we want that or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's true.
um, and so for me, the most important thing for me is love.
Mm-hmm.
I choose. I also choose love. I choose to be the love for my kids, be the love be the love for my wife,
Mm-hmm.
for my friends. When they need me. Um, and I remember calling one of my friends recently. I haven't spoken to him maybe in about like 3 or 4 months, and I gave him a call. It was like an afternoon one day, and it was real random. For some reason he just popped into my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just, oh, let me give him a call. So he picks up and he's just like, hey, I'm glad you called. And then he just broke down crying,
Mm-hmm.
and I I I didn't know what I needed to say to him. I just knew that me just being on the phone with him already made an impact,
Right.
because whatever he was going through at that particular moment, he just needed love.
Mm-hmm.
He just needed somebody to just listen and get whatever he had suppressed inside of his emotions or his body for the longest time. He just needed to get it out.
Right.
And I just happened to call him that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, man, like you never really know what a person's going through,
Yeah. You don't.
right? You on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
you may talk to a person, you may see what things are on the surface,
Right.
but to really, know what a person's going through on a daily basis, you don't. So that's why, for me, like, judging somebody or, thinking like what a person, who a person really is, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And check on your friends.
Yeah.
Check on people you haven't talked to in a while,
Right.
because you really never know like how much of an impact you're gonna make on somebody's life just by them hearing your voice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why for me, I've 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 come to realize like choosing love is the most important thing in life. Is, hey man, everybody needs it.
Everybody needs it. I think I watched a video of like a school shooter where the gym coach was just hugging them, disarmed them, hugged them, stayed with them. It was pretty powerful. So, I mean, so you and Tim separated for what, like some time now? How do you feel now that you guys aren't like as connected?
um
Matter of fact, let me ask you, what would you have done different 6 months ago, 7 months ago, looking back into it to make a better experience for yourself?
Knowing myself, I'm the type of person that needs to go through, tough experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go through an experience to know, what it is.
Okay,
You
so
know?
you say knowing yourself. Let's scratch that. What would you say to yourself
Uh-huh.
6, 7 months ago to give yourself a better experience working with Skywide?
Um
Got him thinking. Got him thinking. That's a great question, Sean.
like there's not really much for me to um look back on this experience in terms of like, what I would change with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think every experience we go through, it it was it was meant for us to go through that experience so that we can get um, clarity on what we want next for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't look at Tim, like um, any other way than he is me,
Right.
because
Like a younger version of you.
at one point that Tim was me.
Right.
I was a Tim,
Mm-hmm.
and I was that to other people around me,
I believe
you
that.
know?
You got that look. That straightforward look.
And I totally understand it now, because now it gives me that contrast of what I was like.
Right, right.
And now who do I now it gives me the
Options
opportunity
to choose
to
differently.
choose who do I really want to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? If, who do I want to be for me, and who do I want to be for those around me?
Right.
And I think that's how I learn.
That's powerful.
I have to go through it, I have to see it, I have to feel it, and then now I get to choose it and really um, know for sure this is what I want.
Right, right.
And so Tim, I really did enjoy working with Tim.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the level of intensity that I got from him, like I was really able to push myself.
Right, right.
But I do realize now that that's not where I am now. I'm not at that level where when I was in my 20s, I could push myself to that point where
Mm-hmm.
I could handle it. Now, there's so much more in my life where, um,
You need the balance.
yeah, I have so many other focuses in my life now, where if I put myself in that realm, it's going to deplete me of my other focuses, and I won't be able to be my best self around that, around my kids, around my wife, and that to me is the balance. Like, I need to figure out where I can put myself in all of these situations where I can be my best self.
Right.
And if I'm in a situation where it's draining me of all of that energy, then I'm not going to be able to do that. And like I said, nothing from that experience where I felt like there was any regret or anything like that. No, I, I was able to grow so much from it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And if I had to tell myself like any advice
Mm-hmm.
of what I would have done differently, to answer your question, um, sleep more.
Sleep more.
You know, spend more time with your kids. You
Right.
know, like the normal eat right,
Mm-hmm.
right, like the normal stuff, which I already do. But it's just kind of like, no, I don't see it being any different.
Right.
That was just my journey. You
Right.
know, I needed to go through that. You know, it's just like the question would be like, you know, what would you do differently if you were going out with an ex-girlfriend? What would you have done differently to save that relationship?
Right.
Like, no, like uh I look back at like my ex-girlfriends and I'm just like, man, like at the time after our breakup,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like shit, right? For like I don't even know how long, but now I'm married, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to my wife. You know, I consider her the best thing that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she gave me two beautiful kids. And so in hindsight now, do I look at my ex-girlfriend and say, hey, you know, like what would I have done differently with her? No, like I needed to go through that
Mm-hmm.
experience to get me to that next level up, which is where I'm at now.
Right.
And so, you know, we go through all these level ups and it's painful,
Mm-hmm.
right? We go through these very painful experiences, but then it's a disguise in the making
Right.
that's getting you to that point where you're about to transition to this next level of
Mm-hmm.
yourself, which you didn't even see that was going to happen,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel that. It's hard to kind of like receive someone else's experience and take it in as a lesson to apply it to your life, because you got to have like a level of belief that that could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot, bro. It's a lot. I agree with you though that things happen for you, not to you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I think you got a lot out of your 6 7 month journey with Skywide. And yeah, you're right, bro. Skywide is no joke. You know, Timbo got the energy to run the business for sure, and you got to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
And it's big business. He's doing ground up new construction, so I think he just bought an excavator.
Yeah.
Trying to ride that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Ride it down,
He's
ride down Broad Street.
he invited me a few times to come out there, but I was, you know, doing my thing,
Right.
and you know, and who's to say, you know, later on down the road, you know, we don't cross paths and, you know, continue to work together.
You guys definitely will.
Yeah, like you know, real estate is a very, you know, it's like the Asian community. Everybody knows each other. You know,
Right.
everybody ends up working together.
Yeah.
And you know, like in this line of field, we're always, you know, subbing things out to one another. We're always referring, you know,
Right.
business to one another. So
I just sent him a referral of somebody trying to do ground up. So I don't
yeah,
know. Tim texted me saying that they made the purchase, and I guess he's gonna be the one to work. I don't know. I
yeah,
just know that if they do, I better get paid. No, Tim said he would take care of me.
yeah, man. Like business, this line of business is we're always, you know, crossing paths again. So
Yeah.
um, we're we're just, you know, we're just we're growing
Hmm.
differently. Um, and I wish him all the best, man. I respect him as a person. You know, I respect the people that's on his team.
Hmm.
Everyone's great over there, and now I just have my own journey that
Yeah.
I have to focus on. You know,
Yeah.
with my tribe.
Yeah, and you'll cross paths with him again.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I know I always do, and I don't even do nothing with him. I'm
yeah,
like, "What's up, Timbo?"
yeah. We still talk on a daily basis because I'm still currently doing projects with him.
Hmm.
You know, we're wrapping up a few projects, um, and you know, we're kind of in talks right now about what our future looks like. So I'm not going to rule out anything because like
Right,
things are
right.
still kind of in the mix, and we'll kind of see how things go. But right now, my main focus is doing things with the tribe and focusing on playing my role to the
Hmm.
best to my ability,
Right.
and learning every day, and doing the practices that I
Yeah, for
need to do.
sure.
You know,
We gotta do the afternoon scroll soon.
we could do it right
I
now.
know we could do it right
We could
now.
read it.
Nah. Sometimes I'll go to YouTube and let it play and
Oh,
read
it
it to
has it on
myself.
there. Oh
Scroll
snap.
one.
Oh nice.
Yeah, like in the morning when I'm driving Jamie to school, that's when I'm doing it. I just let it
Mm,
play and I listen to it the whole ride.
that's not part of the rules though.
I know. Well, I say it with. I'm reading it. I look at it with him.
You're not supposed to read it out loud. You're supposed to read it to yourself quietly.
Nah,
It
nah.
says,
I want Jared to soak in that shit too. Yeah, at night.
"We're almost done. 30
Yeah.
days. We're
Scroll
coming
two's
on
coming
close."
up. Yeah,
Scroll 2 looks shorter.
yeah. Nah, bro. I think your perspective on exiting Skywide was amazing. On how you shared it. Great perspective, for sure. I got a lot out of it. I know the viewers did, but I guess the way we're talking, you do gotta be aware of the growth of mindset and spirituality because that's how we're kind of really talking right here.
Yeah.
It's not foreseeing things or you can hold it or anything like that.
Mm.
So appreciate you coming back, bro, to share. I was really really curious on what had happened with you guys, and it feels good to know that you guys you're just on a different journey, right? Different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty dope, bro. Any last words?
Um,
What's 2025 look like for you?
Getting back in shape.
Okay.
Spending more time on my craft and what I
Mm-hmm.
do. I think for me it's continuing to focus on my company.
Mm-hmm.
Because my company was always still running with when I was working with Tim. I was just focused more on projects with Tim. But for me now, it's just going back to the basics
Gotcha.
of what I have with CDT, and growing the people around me, and growing with the tribe. So for me, it's just playing my role and just becoming the best at it right
Yeah,
now.
for
You know.
sure, bro.
Yep.
I'm glad to have you back.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, he's back.
Oh, I'm back.
2025, he's back.
2025, back.
We gotta go somewhere, yo, soon. Like some type of growth event. I really want to do Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny.
Hmm.
Yo, you should really do Unleash the Power Within though. I would go do it again.
Okay.
But yeah,
Let's
I
set
think
it
that's
up.
something we should really do.
Let's set it
Some
up.
type of growth event.
At least get away for a weekend.
Hmm.
I'm definitely game for that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to push for that for like
I know, I know,
past like 6 months.
I
But
know.
hey, it's all in the timing.
Yeah,
We all got families and shit,
yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah. We do, but we'll make it happen.
yeah,
Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.